Hi, welcome. I just want to make a video here on the accepted view that Christian fled to Pella before the destruction of the temple. Now, it's widely accepted among scholars, and I used to believe that myself years ago. But in my journey of studying, I realized over time that is very questionable, and there's actually no real proof of that. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Yes, Josephus writes some of the things went on there, and he even said it got burned down. The problem here is Eusebius, which is the source where this comes from. There's another writer, but he's very quoting Eusebius. Really the only source where this comes from. It's very questionable. He goes above and beyond what Josephus writes, and he wasn't even there. When you have somebody writing that was not even there and taking something and going above and beyond, you have to start questioning it. So I came across an article which you will have access to. Okay, so in the description below you'll have access to PDF here. Okay, and this is the interactive PDF. So meaning you can click on it. There's links throughout here. You can click on and bring to other sources. There's actually a simplified version of this. If you go to upper left, this green here, link to simplified version of this source. You just click on that, and there'll be a more simplified version of it. So where it's not so busy. But anyway, I added this article here, okay, which says, fleeing for the departure of Christians from Jews and Pella. I thought for the longest time, I had to sit at my desk collecting dust for a long time. I thought, okay, this is just another article about how they fled to Pella, blah, blah, and I'll look at it later. And so I looked at it today, and to my surprise, it was more about questioning about them going to Pella, which is the same boat I'm in. Again, were there people there? Yes, absolutely. But the author in this, author's name is Van Huelingen. A lot of vowels there. I have no idea how to pronounce that. But he believed that Eusebius was fudging to make it look like God was protecting the Jewish people. Now that's one theory, but I think there's more to it than that. So where am I coming from? When as I studied eschatology over the years, I realized one day there's no way the Apostle Peter ever stepped foot in Rome. It does not fit the biblical narrative of what's going on in the first century. And through further study, yes, it confirms it. And after realizing and solidifying, yes, he never stepped foot in Rome at all. It does not fit the biblical narrative at all. Then I started looking at stuff that when the rewriting of history, when they tried to make it look like Peter was there. And boy, some of it's laughable. You can see right through them. And so, anyway, so that's the position I take. Peter never stepped foot in Rome. Everything that's written about him being in Rome, none of it is true. But anyway, you have access to, I made a PDF of this, so you have access to it if you go down to here. Now this is a horizontal timeline, by the way. So this is the 1335-day period, all right, which is from August 15th of 8066, and the last day was April 10th, 8070. That was a 1335-day prophecy of the end of 1212. And so, and if we read the end of 12:11-13, it says, "Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 days," the 1335 days. Okay, so those who may already end were the ones that are blessed, which I believe was the stick of Judah. We go back to Ezekiel chapter 37 already. And then the stick of Joseph, also part of Ezekiel 37, which I believe they were already They had already left for the gathering long before that, which September 11th, AD 66. So they had already arrived by then. So anyway, yeah, so you get access to this right here. Let's just zoom in a little bit here. So PDF link Pella questionable. So you click on that, gives you access to this right here. All right. Fleeing for the departure of Christians from Jerusalem to Pella. All right, so that is this right here. Alrighty. So I basically PDF'd it for you. So you can read it for yourself, see what he had to say, his thoughts on that. But I believe that is more to what he's saying, that I came to the conclusion at some point that, okay, where did this come from? This idea that Peter was in Rome. There had been a rewriting of history to play. Where would it happen? Who would have done it? And I concluded it had been Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. And what he was trying to do is he was trying to centralize the church around himself in Rome. All right? And so he was doing whatever it took for that to happen. And so history has written 2 different conversions for Emperor Constantine. One when he legalized Christianity, and then one at the very end of his life. Well, obviously you can only have one conversion. I believe the first one was just to cover up his power and control. The reason why he legalized Christianity, in my humble opinion, was for power and control. He saw them the opportunity to gain power because he was murdering them and they weren't going away. So he's like, there's something about these people. So that's why he legalized Christianity, in my view. And then a conversion at the very end of life, very possible that could have been a real conversion. I don't know. It's at the very end of life. It's hard to find any fruit to even look at after that so-called last conversion. But the first one, when you look at what happened afterward, this guy was not converted. Okay, he was murdering his own family. He had power control issues. I think that's why he started a church building program, which is 326 AD, something like that, or around there. And so, so what I believe happened was Eusebius, who was part of the church, and then Emperor Constantine, who's the emperor. Keep in mind, at that time, there is no separation of church versus state. So it's like Eusebius is like having a gun to his head. You better do what I tell you or else. Now keep in mind, Eusebius knows that he murdered his own family, whatever. So he had been telling Eusebius what to write or what narrative he wanted. Alrighty? Now obviously they didn't have guns back then, but the office politics had been really bad for Eusebius. Okay? And so he's just trying to please Emperor Constantine. Again, no separation of church and state. And what's interesting about this, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a seminary grad. We went out to lunch one day. And he pointed out that Emperor Constantine destroyed Jewish history, which fits exactly what what's the narrative that I believe in. Since he tried to rewrite history, it makes sense to try to get rid of the real history, which allows him to rewrite history. Okay, and you'll see in some of my other videos where I point out this heavily suggests rewritten history by Emperor Constantine. So anyway, so I'm just excited to share with you that I'm not the only one that comes to the conclusion that this whole idea of Pella is questionable. When you look on Google Earth, for example, and look at Revelation 12, where it talks about the earth split to absorb the flood, you don't see any evidence of that surrounding Pella. But if you go to Petra, the southwest of Petra, you see the evidence of that, where it's split and absorbed the flood. And besides, Petra has a history of flooding. So anyway, a history of rapid floods. So anyway, I'm excited to share this with you because see that I'm not the only one to come to the conclusion that it's questionable about Pella. Their gathering where that Paul talked about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 would not have been Pella. All right, not where as I put right here, not where the gathering would have taken place. It would have taken in Petra. and there's plenty of scriptural support for that. And I have here a book that I have on Petra. Okay, trying to see the evidence. Now keep in mind they're only there for 7 years. They basically passed through. So I have a video on evidence of that. So you can go to my videos. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just excited to share this with you. Again, you have access to this down here, or right here, PDF link, Pella questionable, that you can read for yourself and form your own conclusion. All right, thank you very much, and I hope you have an awesome day, and hope you continue to join my videos so that I present information. So please feel free to comment below. Anything you disagree with or whatever. I like being challenged because the truth, it's nice to purge out any falsehoods surrounding truth, and that happens by asking questions or challenging what I say, what the truth might be. All right, well, thank you very much, and have a great day, and have a good one.